Hello, and welcome to another Friday here at Cardboard Alchemy, or whenever you're watching this. We appreciate you being here. This is behind the scenes at a board game publisher. We are Cardboard Alchemy. And so I am here with Rosie, our comms manager, and we are T-minus 11 days to our next crowdfunding campaign. So it's pretty exciting around here, but it's even more exciting to talk to you. Appreciate you coming by to say hello. I see a bunch of people chiming in. There we go. It's so nice to talk to you. Thanks for the howdy. Appreciate it. From different countries around the world and all sorts of people who we see on the stream and some newcomers. Thank you for the excitement that it is going. I think that click through, I just went through at least 4 countries. And that's what I love about our community is it's worldwide. We have a Discord server that we started when we made Flamecraft. And I believe it shot very quickly close to 10,000 and now is over 10,000 members, which is very exciting. And it's especially exciting because when we test games, we can test with people everywhere, which is really fun. And there's no greater test than the game that's coming out next, which is an expansion to a game we've been testing for a long time. So we made Andromeda's Edge, we crowdfunded it in 2023. Thank you for everyone who helped make it possible because we heard a resounding yes, we should make this game. In fact, it was so much of a resounding yes that we are now expanding the game again. I think the first campaign gave it almost so much content. It was like 3 expansions, but yet still there's appetite for more expansions, which is extremely exciting for the entire team because we haven't done very many crowdfunding campaigns that are an extension of a game that we've already done. Actually, this year marks 2 times. We're doing an expansion to Flamecraft, which is coming soon, called Dragons and Dragons. And now this is an expansion to Andromeda's Edge called Genesis. So this is all about the rebirth of those 2 games to get it to new audiences and to have you go to new places with the gameplay. So we're really excited. And, we could talk about anything. We could talk about Genesis and what's going into that campaign. Obviously, I'm thinking about that a lot. I've got things like this dice tower with me. Because, yes, we conceived of doing random crazy things like building this dice tower, this obelisk, which is in the game. It's one of the key features in Andromeda's Edge is that you build these obelisks. You actually put your leader inside the building. Luke had this idea early on that you would construct cities and factories and observatories, spaceports, and obelisks on radioactive planets where you actually take your leader and build it into the structure. And we decided what would be more fun than to make this crazy structure. And that's when we met our friends at LaserOx who know how to do woodcut designs, and they've got an acrylic front where you can see the dice rolling in. I love it. I've been obsessed. People have been coming over to the game night here and then rolling whatever game we're playing. They're rolling the dice in the obelisk. So that's going to be on the campaign. Someone asked what material is that tower. It is wood with a mahogany stain. I don't actually know the type of wood, although it could be a birch. But I don't have that spec. I just have that it's awesome. We're going to have it on the campaign as one of the options you can get. And we're also going to have, and I can't show it because it's right here, but a table mat and several sizes of table mat. So thank goodness for stretch pay on the campaign because these things will be pricey a little bit for the accessories. I don't want anyone to feel pressured that you have to do it. It's a nice thing to have if you are ready to splurge on this game, great. Otherwise, we have Genesis itself, the expansion, like really reasonably priced at only $29 on the campaign, which is like, to me, a no-brainer for so much content that we're going to add to this game. Whereas I think the mat and the dice tower, we're still trying to get them as tight as possible. But they will be those kind of purchases that only if this is your game and you feel like this, you can, you want to deck out your game room. Yes, 29. I mean, that's not with shipping. There's shipping, there's taxes in some countries and regions. No custom duties in a lot of regions, but 29 is lower than it will be in stores. The best we could do, and not only that, but it's not just 29. It's 29, and it's going to include 3D minis, which will not be in the box in retail. So we're gonna every single backer who comes in for Genesis or gets a compilation pledge with Genesis in it is going to get those 3D minis of the new raiders that we're adding. Plus, there's actually miniatures in the box as well, because one of the factions plays with terraforming tokens that are a little plastic. And also you get control locks, which you can control raiders. It's a thing now. You can get those in all the player colors in plastic as well. So it's actually a huge amount of value in the Genesis expansion. And my favorite part about Genesis, thank you, we're all shocked. I'm shocked. My favorite part about the campaign so far is that people say, will it fit in the box? The big black box, the deluxe edition. People ask me that. And what I think is amusing is that it's actually not a fair question, because most campaigns put out products in multiple boxes. That's very reasonable. In fact, the Genesis box itself, if we just released this box, which is, it's a thin, small box, it could go on your shelf, it could go on top of your black box. That is entirely reasonable and what most publishers would do. So my answer to the question of does it fit in the box could just be no. But you get a beautiful box by Sergio Chavez, and that's great. It's good enough for me. I think that's reasonable with all the campaigns I see out there. But the actual answer is that yes, it does fit in the deluxe box. And my favorite thing is that people go, "What? There's no way it fits in the deluxe box," and they do not believe that that's true. So we're going to show a graphic on the page of where every single piece of Genesis is going to go in the box. I got you. I love doing that. I love making games where we left enough room for just the right amount of content. Now, Luke and Maximus did make more content because they were so excited. And I am working on exactly where that content will go, but I am going to get it in that box. Now, if I fail in my mission, you still have a gorgeous Genesis box to put it in. But I'm going to show you how to get it in there. Now, I know there's probably questions by now because I've gone over a couple places. Let me get Rosie in so we can chat about all the things that she knows what we're supposed to be chatting about. if not Genesis, she'll tell me what we're going to cover in this stream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few questions already. Okay. People talking about game makers.
Oh, yeah, game makers is coming out on...
What an interesting question. What a nice question.
So what's really funny about that is we found out a long time ago that the game called The Game Makers by Bezier Games, they actually reached out to us really early on and said, could we... Now, this is a game about... I have not played it, but it's by designer Ben Rossett, and I really like Ben's work. He did Between Two Cities. He did... Oh, he's such a long resume, and I'm blanking on all of the ones that he did. I'll get the list because Ben is like all the stuff he's touching is gold. Let's see if I can get him on. Let's see. He did Fromage, which is really hot right now, and The Search for Planet X, which a lot of people say is a brilliant game. I haven't played that one, but anyway, I found out that he did The Game Makers, and it's a game about game making, which is something that Ben knows about because he worked at Panda Manufacturing, and this is a game partnered with Panda Manufacturing. So it's about like the whole process of assembling a game and manufacturing a game, something that I love to talk about on this channel and behind the scenes. We love to talk about how games get made. So it's a game that's like right to my heart. And they reached out and said, so you can make like actual board games that we all know in this game. Like you can actually construct a board game, like a certain title that you want.
That's so cute.
So they reached out and they said, could we put Flamecraft in this game? And I said, oh, well, we'd be honored to have Flamecraft in the game. So in the game, you can... I don't know what resources you need to make Flamecraft. I don't know if there's like tiny dragons. And I'm assuming it's like, you need card resources. I don't know if there's going to be like a neoprene mat resource. But anyway, you can make Flamecraft in the game. And then I wrote to them and I said, we're so excited by this. And because Bezier Games publishes a game that features Luke Laurie, so Luke designed Whistle Mountain with Scott Caputo, and Whistle Mountain is a Bezier game, which I'm sure is in this game. And I said, "Is it possible to get a Luke Laurie? Can we get Andromeda's Edge in this game?" And they were like, "Oh, we're thrilled to add Andromeda's Edge to this game." So now we have 2 games featured in the Game Makers, and I don't know anything else other than that, except they've shared with us. They're going live Tuesday, and they've shared with us like a social media slide that we're going to put out there and tell everybody about this game, because now you can make your own Flamecraft or Andromeda's Edge inside a board game, which is really cool.
We will put a link in the Discord. Yeah.
Yeah. I want everyone to check it out. I know that I trust that Bezier makes great games and Ben makes very great designs, so I'm excited. Plus, it's like a tiny bit of Andromeda's Edge and Flamecraft art in another game, which is kind of cool.
It's very cool. Will the playmat fit folded in the expansion box?
Nice.
No.
I'm gonna have to put a caveat, because every time I say all the content fits in the big box, people go, "Well, what about the dice tower, huh?" And I was
the mat's so cool because it comes in its own bag.
That's true. The mat has
already got its own storage.
And I'll tell you about the carrying case.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's got a little window so you can see what mat's inside it.
Yeah, and it normally costs like another $15 or $20 to get the case. But we're throwing in the case free with every mat. We're going to make it like, I know Game Toppers is like, "Shh, don't do that." But we're like, no, everyone's getting a mat bag. I want everybody to have a mat bag. So if you
asked if it fits on my door hanger thing. No, my door hanger thing is just for like TCG mats and like small mats. It holds like little tubes, but because the bag has handles, you could technically still hang it from a hook behind a door, which is what I'll be doing because I have no space. But I took it with me this week to 2 places. I took it with me to the Arcanist Tavern. And here is my lovely husband and dog.
Oh, nice. You didn't put the pizza on the mat. That's a wise move.
No, the game was on the mat and the game took the space.
Doggo is excited for the.
And there's
I have pizza.
There's Doug very happy with himself.
With that. Is this the smaller of the?
This is the medium.
Medium, okay.
And there was 3 playing on the medium. I have now labeled, because I have all 3 mats, and I've now labeled them because I was like, bring the big one, and then we brought the other 2. So the big one's longer. It's just a lot longer.
A little bit longer. You get a foot extra if you.
So this is 5 foot long.
Correct.
And you get 6 foot for which is massive. But yeah, I really, really love all the little features of it, and the colors of the players match on the board. Is very cool. Designated player spots.
It does. Now you don't have to play to those, but there is a purple spot, a blue spot, a green spot, a yellow spot, and technically the obelisk is a white spot if you're playing with the white player color. But we made it so that, like, I think the blue spot has a little bit of white so that you could switch it out and go there if you were going for.
Yeah, I like that about it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not that. There's always a blue player, right?
You can always play the yellow and the purple spot. It's not like it's locked in. It's just that what we talked to Sergio about doing is we've never illustrated space stations in Andromeda's Edge, but yet you play a desperate faction arriving to the edge in a space station. And so I said, Sergio, could you show us what a space station would be like? And he did 4 different space stations that you could put your mat on. And
so cool. And there's a space for the event, so you can see there that there's these little dots. And what I really love about them is that they've got on the 3 spots that are together, they've got little markings for each player count. It's just like little are they moons around a moon? Are they little moons telling you 3 player, like I think it has 5 and 4 and then 3 and then 2. So it's really cool.
It has a really nice, like, I think there's a 4/5, or it's like the way that he did is he spaced out the 5th one so that it's like really clear that this is 1, 2, this is 4, 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really subtle but awesome work by Sergio to do that.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, you can see it's red, and that's where the raiders go. Well, if you want to, as a fun little like touch. But that's also where the scrapyard is. So the ships are like around this bubble, damaged, and then they move into the bubble if they're repaired. So it's very cool. It's a lot of fun. But of course, you can still add the boards if you want to. You can still add the event board if you want to. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I won that one.
Nice. Excellent. Good work.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I won. And then Doug came second, and Benedict, who actually owns this venue, it's his like immersive tavern in London where you can go play. This table is huge, by the way. This table is for like Warhammer.
It does seem like it's going on there.
It's huge. This table's for like wargaming. He has a room, which is where I got married, which is for like massive tables for wargaming, and all around us are boxes of minis. But then he also has booths with D&D tables and lights and everything. And then upstairs he has like a pub that's like for board games and everything. He actually told me that someone came and no, I'm not on a winning spree anymore because I lost recently. but basically, he said this group turned up, played Critter Kitchen 4 times. They just played it over and over. They had a booking for 3 hours, but just stayed. And he said they just kept playing it over and over. And I was like, it's that replayability. That's what it is.
I can see if you like Critter Kitchen going like, let's try another critic. Let's try.
Yeah. 100%. Also very smart to do in a cafe when if you've learned one game and you're happy to keep playing it, then you don't have to learn another game. Just keep playing the game that you already know and you're much faster. So yeah. But yeah, so he'd never played a full game before. Benedict had played it with Luke as a demo at Essen and then picked up a copy for the tavern. And so we did a teach and what was awesome was he learned it with the entire expansion and it was the same amount of time. Like it was a 45-minute teach and it was the same. And Doug had also did the teach and he'd never taught it before. So including the expansion and everything, which realized what that means is that it doesn't add extra weight to the teach. It's just if you don't know it, then it just makes sense because you're just like, oh, this thing is always there, or if you want to add it or not. So we did the whole expansion. So yeah, it was really cool.
That's what I want to convey on the page because there's a lot of people worried on the page that the expansion will either add to the length of the game or add to the complexity of understanding the game, and it doesn't actually do that. And because you can't win, some people are like, well, if it doesn't do that, then I'm out. But it actually just seamlessly works into the system, and that's because Andromeda's Edge is built on a core, which is either you launch a ship or you pull everything back. And even the developer who's programming for Board Game Arena right now is like, I find adding new content very easy. Even though there's a lot of rules in each card, it's the same rules for the system. So it's actually really easy to get an expansion into Andromeda's Edge.
Even when scoring, the new things just go with the scoring, like the shrines and the stars go with scoring your developments, and it just all kind of makes, there's a little bit more, but they kind of add into the scoring, which is really clever. So I really like that about it. Yeah, it was fun to see that, and we had a lot of fun playing, and I filmed a bunch of stuff. I filmed the mat, I filmed because we do faction videos, so there will be faction videos.
I'm getting ready to record the best.
Oh, good. So I filmed the bits that hopefully will be enough of what Peter wants to go into it, because we make sure that we get all of the factions in that series. But I also then yesterday went and played with Mark Monk, and this is me losing.
I've seen this guy on TikTok.
He's called Ninja Geek Games, and he won. And I'm not happy about it.
Oh no, your streak is broken. So he's good at it, huh?
Well, first off, so I'm gonna put the picture back because I hate this picture of me. I'm gonna put it on
put the other picture.
This beautiful tower.
Oh, look at that! Yeah,
I took beautiful tower. So yeah, I played with Whose Podcast Is It Anyway? So JP from Whose Podcast Is It Anyway, and I played with Mark Monk, and basically. They knew Andromeda. They know Andromeda so well. JP knows it so.
Oh, that's so exciting that you get to play with people who really know it.
Really, really know it. So I got to experience just teaching the expansion, and that took no time at all. It was so fast. The setup took longer. I was just like this, and that makes sense. Cool. It was so easy.
Yeah.
So I really loved it. And they both got we went to 70. Firstly, I'll make sure that's clear. We went to 70.
Yeah.
Because they played so fast. It was so fast.
Yeah.
And they both got over 200 points. I did not. I got 170.
Did they both play new factions? Did you all play new factions?
Every time we played this week, I played all. So the one I played in the tavern was I think I played the precogs. Yeah, Doug was the Martian terraformers, and Benedict was the Wood Whisperers. Was an incredible open move where he basically went to a star, healed it a bit, got the damage because the Wood Whisperers utilized the damage. And then he had his unfettered owl ship out, and his movement was 3 off the bat. He's moving around space at breakneck speed, and I'm like, what? That's hideous. My first turn, I fight a raider. We both get the same score. Nothing happens. We both let lose. It's just like, no.
I had a great game where I wasn't playing the precogs. I was playing like one of the classic factions. I think I was playing the Dark Star, and in turn 1, I wasn't playing Dark Star. I was playing one of the ones that starts with a credit. So I was playing the Pulse War Refugees. And with that credit, there was a cheap spaceport in the middle of the board. And I was like, I can get a development on turn 1. I have the right cards. I'm so excited by this. But I was going 3rd. And I kid you not, that the Martian terraformers came out. No, it was either the Martian terraformers or the Wood Whisperers, but all 3 of us found a way that we could have developed. So first person develops on there because the Wood Whisperers have the whole damage thing, and then I think the Martians were about to develop on there, and then I was like, I could have developed on there. We were all mad, except for the first person, but then we made them suffer because we went after them the whole game.
It was really good. JP has a term he likes to call the exotech, which Peter doesn't understand because you're American. See if anyone. He says that they're proper filth. They're absolute filth.
I don't know that Unity or the Raiders would appreciate being called proper filth.
Proper filth. Absolute filth. He was like, every time I think of an exotech, he goes, these are absolute filth. And basically, for those who don't know what that means, it means that they're like OP, they're insane. They're so spicy.
We should put that quote on the page right after the exotech cards,
Yeah, with a little Oxford Dictionary explanation of what filth means.
Exactly. Oh man!
Yeah, no, they were so happy to be there. They were massive fans of the game, and we were just, they were just like, "This is so cool." I've left the prototype with Mark for a little bit because he's been making some content. He even did a little like post. Spoiler alert! It was awesome. That's his wall of games. It's he has a lot. He has a lot of games in his conservatory, and there's a lovely little bulldog called Ruby, who's missing an eye and it's very sweet.
Ruby's been in Raider fights.
So sweet. But it was a lot of fun and really good to experience playing Genesis with a completely new player, and also people who know it very well. In fact, they were adding things in that I've not added in, such as the oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of them. They've got little symbols on the cards, and we add the extra moons at the top of the nebula.
That's in the expansion escalation, you've got the relics.
Relics, that's what we're doing. Relics.
They look like little floppy disks. It's my favorite icon that has been made for Andromeda's Edge. Chris Strain made an icon of a floppy disk for the relics, which is, if you're my age, then you had to play video games on floppy disks.
Yeah.
So
I did at one point as well. My dad had worms and things on floppy disks, so I did.
I was in I kid you not, I was in a back alley of the city of Chicago making a deal for a bootleg floppy disk when I was a teenager.
Isn't that the beginning of The Matrix?
Yeah, something like that. I do remember.
This is the drugs you want, and it's just
right. I need this game. Let's you have copied this game.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. I mean, I loved it because everyone just like taped over them, and like I do kind of miss the age of like VCR tapes where everyone just scribbled out the movie and wrote like Mum's Fitness tape.
It's like Friends, and then it's more Friends, and then you go, oh shoot, that was somebody's like wedding video or whatever.
Absolutely. But yeah, like so we played with the relics as well, and at the end, like both of them are like getting 14 points. I didn't buy the ones with them on. I was trying to go up the science track and failing. But there were 3 industry planets out.
Oh wow!
And there was no ice. There was just like, what are we going to do? Oh my goodness, no blue. So luckily they did come out a bit later. But at one point we had 4 raiders on the board. Hideous.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't go anywhere without basically being defeated. But the Corrigan smugglers were great because with my Habs, basically some of the areas were free to develop.
That's amazing.
So
yeah, Corrigan smugglers make it 1 discount to develop, and the Martian terraformers can make it another discount to develop. So some planets will be nothing, which is unbelievable. We've already had people starting to say precogs are OP, wood whisperers are OP, and Martian terraformers are OP. But that's the secret of the game. All 21 factions are OP. That is the beauty. That's the beautiful part about the design.
No, absolutely. It's interesting because I always think the precogs are going to swing it, and then the wood whisperers are just like, oh, what's that? Just me right at the end swooping in and winning. Oh no! So it's very tense. It's very tense.
Look, I have another guest I have not seen on the show, but hi, Norv. It's good to see you. Friend from way back, Norv and I started. Norv was hosting a design club where he would invite game designers over, and he was hosting this thing where game designers would get to test their games with others, and none of us were published yet, and none of us had an idea what we were doing. But Norv ran this group, and he gamified the group, which I really particularly enjoyed, which was that you got points if you played somebody else's game, and you lost points if you yourself hosted a game. So that we would look at who had the most points, and they would get the turn to go share their game. It was a really fun system.
That's awesome. That's
and
really cool.
That's where I met a lot of people. I had already met Brad by then, but I met John.
And they're not related,
huh?
And they're not related.
Oh, no. They are related, actually.
What?
Yeah, they are related.
Oh my goodness, like Ron Swanson's secret brother.
Norv is also Brad's dad. I've just revealed the secret of the Star Wars movies. No, but Norv is so introduced Brad to games, which is kind of awesome to be in that generational. Like I had a stepfather that played games, but I didn't have someone who was like designing games. And I mean, imagine growing up in that, right? So
I was talking to Brad when we did a chat, and he was telling me all about how he grew up with game design and everything, and spoilers.
Spoilers. There's a lot of spoilers missing.
Yeah, in the future there'll be a game release. You'll be like,
well, Brad and Norv started designing some games together, and they have shared credits on a game before. Norv's game, which is called Aloha, and then Norv did a lot of dev or helped on Letter Tycoon, and so it's been fun, gaming with Norv. And I have been to many conventions with Norv as well. So it's good to see you on the program, sir.
Sir,
I started gaming, and Norv was running these groups, and that's how I met. Like I said, John Clare was at that group. And John Clare, I think I've told this story, and it was like we all didn't know how to approach a game publisher, and John Clare's like, I just wrote to Queen Games, and everyone was like, well, doesn't Queen Games say they're closed for submissions? And John's like, they don't have to watch the video if they don't want to, but I showed them a cool game, and if they want to, then maybe they'll make it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Norv was in the League of Game Makers with us, so we started that blog about game making, and Norv wrote a lot of articles for that. So I really appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, hi, Norv. Hi. Do you also make time machines? Is that your thing?
That's runs in the family.
Runs in the family. That's awesome. Where's Brad? Huh?
Yeah, I know. Well, Brad just went on a trip to, he and his family just went on a cruise into Alaska. So I know he's recovering from that. But I think it was a good time.
That's awesome.
We'll have to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do a stream where we just talk about Brad's holiday.
Right? Well, like, where are we going? Are we going to Andromeda Edge? No, we're going to go to Alaska. Here's the picture.
And just do like a little slideshow.
That's right. I'm sure he saw, lots of things like the nebula from Alaska. I think you could see it from there.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Anyway.
Well, I didn't go to Alaska, but I also went to ZatuCon, and we have a celebrity. That's Joanne.
Oh, look at that.
And wearing the Astro Dragons t-shirt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On the left is Board Game Duck. They review games and they're playing duels.
Oh,
And
cool. Minecraft duels on the table.
They had a great time.
I can show.
Impy just wanted to steal duels away.
Right?
We had a few people going like, "What's this?" Like,
nice.
Fun fact: this was actually a table for Asmodee, and I stole it.
Nice, good job.
There was no tables free, and they were like, "We don't need it, really. It's fine."
Oh, that's nice. I'm so glad you got a chance to play.
It was lovely with the hair, Andromeda's Edge hair. It's very cool.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Cool. I'm excited. I cannot wait for duels to get out there.
Me neither. I'm so excited.
Because I think that there's going to be this wave. First of all, there are some people who think Flamecraft Duels is just Flamecraft 2-player. And there are some people that think, oh, it's duels, so it's a cash grab, or it's not really a serious game that they made. And there's some people who just don't know it yet. But I think what's going to happen is that it's not just cute. It's not just a cute box either. It's going to be the kind of game where people go, wow, there is a good game inside this. Like, it's cute dragons, it's chonky tokens. If you have the deluxe, which is what we're doing for all backers, it's unbelievable coins again with, the duels coins and the wooden holders that hold your cards, dragons on them and everything. It's going to be so much fun to see it for components, but also it's a solid game in there. So kudos to Manny Vega for making another hit, and also to Luke Laurie on our team for doing solid dev to make that game really shine too. I
had one person scream across the room, "Dragon Girl." That was fun. Made everyone jump.
Nice. You have a new title at Cardboard Alchemy.
I thought it was Flamecraft Girl, but it's now Dragon. I've upgraded to all dragons.
Oh, right. Because you're like Khaleesi now.
And there's no queen apparently, just girl. But no, they were playing Divide and Conquer on a table, and they just go, "Oh, Dragon Girl," and I was like, "Hi."
That's what we're gonna put on your new business card.
Yeah. And then a couple of other people came up who said that Flamecraft was their first ever game. They found it through me, and now they're here, and they blame me for their entire board game collection, and I will take that blame. And a few people came over who'd, again, some of them thought that Flamecraft Duels was a 2-player version of Flamecraft, and so they got to have a play and be like, "Oh yeah, this is completely different." I was like, "Yeah,
exactly." I think when that happens, when people find that out, which I predict will be, so backers will play, and then people will see it on the table, and then there'll be this wave of, "Oh my God, I have to get this game." I think game stores are going to be that wave of like, they will also realize what this is. So we are preparing for orders after the wave. Like we're just trying to get ready for what I think will happen, which is a lot of interest in Flamecraft Duels.
No, for sure, absolutely. It's been a couple. I don't know if we can answer this right now, but how long until Duels fulfillment?
Oh yeah, we're about to do an update because the games are getting made right now, and we're so close, which is actually amazing because it's, and I have to cross my fingers, it's early because we said that the fulfillment would be December, and then in updates we've said we're striving for November. We're being ambitious to get there by November. I had secret hopes that maybe we'd even see in October somebody holding their copy, but I do think it's going to be November. If we get, the next bit of luck has to be with boats, the canals, all the things that have to go right at this stage are out of my control, out of our control. And so, but we are aiming for this game to be the first game from Cardboard Alchemy that is not only on time, but is early and also is within the same year that it was crowdfunded, which is not going to be how it always is. But I talked to someone and they were like, "Wait, Duels is coming out the same year it funded?" And I was like, "Yes, that is what we are doing."
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that I'll be, just when I can, I have it, but playing it all Christmas.
That's what I want. I want a Christmas delivery. We tried a Christmas delivery on Critter Kitchen. Critter Kitchen said, "We're coming for the 12 days. We're not going to make the but we can make Epiphany possibly." But then it was like it took its time, and so the reindeer had to play in the snow in January. But but we're trying for. I would love to see Duels make it for the holiday season. So,
what would that look like? A 2-player small box Andromeda's Edge? What would that even look like?
You know what's funny, and I can't leak this yet, but I can't. But Luke Laurie is working on other games in the Andromeda's Edge universe and has been considering a 2-player something. So I can't talk more about that until we get down the road. But we're thinking about smaller games because Duels was such a success for. Now we have a giant box, which is Andromeda's Edge, and we love making giant boxes, and we love fitting all of the content still in the giant box. But also, the small box has been exciting because people can put it in a backpack. People are excited to take it from a con. It's a better con box, to be honest with you, because you can pack that thing and you can take it right there and then at the con, which is harder to do for Andromeda's Edge. You're like, my car is it's way over there and I can't lug this thing around. So smaller box games are in our sites for a couple of our titles.
Yeah, Ivy Studios has been doing like stuff within their worlds.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And then I've not played it, but they came out with Tend, which I really enjoyed. It's basically like admin, like really satisfying admin. And now they made a smaller like mini Tend, which I've not played, but I like the idea of doing stuff like that. So
you got a new title, by the way, from Lady Valeria. This is amazing. Wait, put this up. Rosie, cozy, and cute content creator, the almighty gamer, frog lover, dragon girl, and secretly eldritch goddess. Wow.
Secretly eldritch girl? Where's that coming from?
That's amazing.
I'm an old lady in the eldritch D&D that I'm doing. So, I'll put that on a card. No problem. Absolutely. First of her name, leader of the cozy people. Oh my goodness. Look, ultra tiny epic Andromeda galaxies.
Oh man, there's a I hope my friend goes through with this. There's a game called Merchants of Andromeda. Have you heard of that one? I think it's by All Play. And I was particularly amused because I know All Play really well. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're getting in on the Andromeda name. And I was joking around with them. And so it's a completely different game. But I think a friend of mine is going to do a video of Merchants of Andromeda is like... it's like the new Andromeda's Edge, and he's going to do another one like Andromeda's Edge is the new Merchants of Edge. He's going to do some kind of video where we get into the seeing Andromeda on another game is pretty fun, actually.
I mean, someone shared the other day they named their dog.
Oh, I saw that picture on Facebook.
I haven't got the picture. I should have grabbed that one. It was so cool. Someone's named their dog Andromeda after Andromeda's Edge.
I mean, you hear stories. I think we talked about how at Gen Con people came dressed up as Flamecraft characters. And someone will say something like, this game inspired this. There was a person who came who said that they legally changed their middle name to Andromeda. Coincidentally, but had come to the very first Andromeda's Edge playtest with Luke that he and I did at Gen Con and said, by the way, my middle name is now Andromeda. And I was just like, that's so awesome. And then, of course, someone was sharing this picture of their dog. And I love the comments that were like, because the dog was off their bed. And so someone's like, oh, they're off the edge of Andromeda. Andromeda's off the edge. That was very funny. And I love it, hearing that people have... because that's the end goal of making games is to share the games and find out they've touched people's lives in whatever way they've touched people's lives is the goal. Because we all need board games to do that for us. There's so many other things that you want to tune out. And it's why I go to game nights and why I'm hosting them now at the studio every Thursday, because I need to make sure that we keep that hope. People look forward to that. Mm-hmm. And so then when you find out that their family had that moment with your game, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that's our goal is to have dogs named after our games.
I mean, that's our goal is to, when I get a dog, I am going to name the dog.
It's going to be hard for you. There's a lot of dragons.
There's a lot of dragons, and there's a lot of characters. There's Blorp Johnson from Michigan.
Blorp is a terrible name for that.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that name.
That is hard to say. Blorp.
Blorp, get over here. No, I'm not doing Blorp. I would do Andromeda. That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, and it's Andy for sure.
There you go. Although you're in a park and you're like, Andromeda, Get over from the edge of the. No, you can't. That's too long.
I love that. There's a few more pictures to share.
Let's see some more community pictures.
Some people, so Irix Klein finished painting
Let me
their
tell you that in this picture, the plush feel like giants.
I'm also like, is this an actual like stand for the dragons?
I don't know, actually. That's interesting. It almost feels like, I hate to say it, I think the dragons are at an altar, and I'm afraid of what they might do. I don't know what's happening.
I think they're giving gifts of sausages, bread, and presents.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting job. I love the fact that, when we conceived the crystal on I'm blanking on the name now for our crystal dragon.
Oh, Deathfang, isn't it?
Deathfang. Yeah. When Deathfang's crystal, I would always think of it as a teal crystal, but now seeing it in red, really interesting.
I thought they'd forgotten to take the tape off because I always tape it up when I paint it. But maybe that is
red crystal. And I love the presents.
They look so good.
That's good stuff.
It's awesome.
Red's good too. It's good. It's a lot of good props on this one. They're summoning Rosie. Dun, dun, dun.
Absolutely.
Wow. We're coming up with a whole story in this.
I don't understand what's happening. Speaking of stories, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
We're going to be having a lot of fun with Genesis because Andromeda's Edge is a fun world. Yes, there's death and destruction, but it's very colorful and it's full of fun death and destruction with mushrooms and fungi and other kinds of mushrooms and spores and mold and wolves.
You're not painting Andromeda very well here. I don't know if I want to go to the Andromeda's Edge galaxy now.
But it's not the cold hard silence of space. It's very colorful. It's very fun. So with Genesis, we're going to be having a lot of fun, and as always with our campaigns, we like to get you involved, and we're going to be doing some things. Someone's already asked. It was right at the beginning. Let me grab it. Anyone had a guess at why Tim is behind bars? I will grab that picture while you talk, so I can do that.
Yeah. Well, we're doing so. This campaign is the goal of an expansion campaign for us as Cardboard Alchemy, if I haven't explained this already, is that we are not doing the typical stretch goals with a longer campaign and the full court press, because it is a game that everybody already knows. So we're doing a shorter campaign where it's already pre-stretched to the most part, although we have a couple surprises as we cannot help ourselves. And one of them is, as we've been talking to Tim too, and we found out that Tim has been captured by Unity.
He was on a mission to.
Yeah, that's true. He was going to film something for us. I'm not sure if that happened now because
he's going to have to film it there.
Yeah.
And what worries me is it looks like he's on the other side of the bars, so he's probably not going to do too well.
Yeah. Although what I Tim has Teflon hands. What I like about this is that we put a poll on our update and said, should we save Tim, or should we go after Tim? And then the answers have been very funny to see what people have said. And Luke suggested an answer of that Tim is not trapped with Unity. Unity is trapped with Tim. And that has, I think, been the number one answer so far. So
yeah, absolutely.
Ruthless. Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out, update number 2 has all of the answers you can pick from.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't recommend that you hold lasers. Just letting you know that now. I think what happened was, behind the scenes, is Tim took a photo doing this, and then Sarah, our lovely head of art direction, just goes like, lasers.
Lasers, 100%.
Enjoy. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Survive. As Rosie said, one of the answers that Rosie will pick is that he's got snacks. He'll be fine.
He does have snacks. He has this weird, not weird, but he has a lot of. He likes to bring a lot of snacks. He's even got his own claw machine.
I need to go to his place because there's a claw machine and there's snacks and there's game tables where games are on the top surface and games are on the bottom surface. I mean, hello.
He's living in a fun house.
Tim is. After you get a free from Unity, could you invite me over? I'd like to go to this gaming palace or whatever. I did actually bring Matt there one time, but I didn't stay over.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
I know.
I'm going there tomorrow. So I'll just pop over.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful. So as it relates to the campaign, what we are going to do is we have some bonus cards. Would anyone like bonus cards unlocked? Yeah. Well, you'll have to help save Tim if you want to get these cards because they're at his place. No one else has them. And if we don't free Tim, we don't put the cards in Genesis. But if we do free Tim, then we will put the cards in Genesis. And you don't want to miss these cards because they are ancient Raider tech that is pretty darn awesome.
It's filthy. Filthy.
It's absolutely filthy Raider tech is what it is. It's proper filth. These cards are proper filth, and they are the weapons of the enemy. And Tim's got them, so we need to get those.
Yeah, Tim's got them. None of us do. We've got to get them back, and maybe Tim too, but mostly
the weapons. Maybe Tim. Mostly the weapons. That was really what we want. Tim will just be saved if we feel like it. If we have room on the ship when we're returning.
Yeah, but if the tech takes up too much room, we'll come back.
We totally will come back.
We'll totally come back.
Yeah.
Unity are like, please take him.
Exactly. Like the best commander of Andromeda's Edge.
What I really want is Tim to just appear in the comments now being like, hi.
Yeah, right. Please don't just go for the weapons. Please come.
Please save me. Thank you. But yeah, and then also we are bringing back the puzzles.
Oh yes, puzzles. But not just the puzzles.
Not just the puzzles.
Not just the puzzles. So I talked to Rich Milena, who's not been captured, but has been building the most epic puzzles for Andromeda's Edge. And I said to Rich at the beginning, Rich, we have some expert puzzle solvers in our Discord. So these puzzles need to be hard mode. Like, how hard can you make these? And then he laughed maniacally, and I was worried. And now I don't know what's going to happen, but these puzzles are going to be difficult.
We genuinely need your help solving them.
I mean, seriously, because I have no idea how to do these puzzles. And the deal is we're doing something very different on this campaign, but I think it's going to really work out. It might be the way that we go forward, which is that not everyone has to do the puzzles, because if anyone solves a puzzle, and they're going to come displayed in order, you can only look at the puzzles one by one. If anyone solves puzzle 1, it will unlock an Exotech card that everybody on the campaign will get. So only one person has to do it, and that person will be, now some people will go, I'll sit by and I'll let you unlock all the cards. But if they don't get unlocked, if nobody does the puzzles, then we don't get those cards. So we know that some people will be up for the task, but you might need friends. You might need to like community solve these and go like, okay, I think I've got part of it, but I don't know this part of it. So we'll have our Discord open for communication, and we'll have people who can Facebook group. You can chat with people about the puzzles, because it'll be a little bit like, but it's a little bit like Ready Player One in the sense that if you are one of the first 3 people to solve the puzzle, we're going to give you a credit towards a Genesis pledge. Now, if you're getting something more than Genesis, you could still get that same amount of money as a credit. But if you're just getting Genesis, it will give you the cost of Genesis. And that is what we're going to have. We're going to have a leaderboard on the campaign. So if you're like, oh, I cracked the code of the puzzle, and you're one of the first 3 people to do so on each puzzle, you will get that, free discount of Genesis off of
your name on the leaderboard,
and your name for bragging rights on the page on the leaderboard that you were one of the people who saved Exotech cards. But again, if you're not the kind of person that wants to dive into puzzles, you can sit back and cheer on the puzzle solvers, because they will be getting content for you also. So everybody when an Exotech card is unlocked by anybody on the leaderboard, you will also get that Exotech in your game. So we're having a lot of fun with puzzles as usual, but now we're sort of letting you choose if you want to be aggressively going for puzzles, or if you want to just kind of chill in the nebula and wait for the puzzles to come, the puzzle rewards to come to you. So.
And they're all different kinds of puzzles. So I find that some I struggle with and some are just easier for my brain. So it might be that you go, oh, the first one I'm completely lost on. But then keep an eye on the page, because when the second or third or whatever comes up, you're going to be like, oh, now this is my time. This is for me. There are certain word puzzles I'm much better at. I'm actually better at visual puzzles. I can move puzzle pieces around and do that kind of stuff than I am like any
I like
other
this question, by the way, and I'm going to commit to doing this. Release puzzles at different times of the day to allow different time zones to have a chance of solving them first. I think it's a great idea. And we don't have a specific schedule. Like if one is unlocked, we have the campaign to run anyway. So we were going to put them at, we weren't going to like if the first one's cracked in 5 minutes, we might not post the next one until that afternoon. But now because of that comment, I will definitely make sure we space them in such a way that lots of time zones have a crack at the puzzle.
As long as someone who has edited the page awake, we could do it.
I don't sleep during campaigns. So it's fine.
But yeah, no, we actually deliberately weren't going to do them at the same time all the time, because we just don't know when they're going to get solved and when we're going to be able to immediately, get on that job. So it will be at different times. Also incentivize you to keep checking the page, because stuff will keep changing and happening.
Also, we're going to have, because they are hard, we are going to have a time release capsule for hints. So basically, there will be a puzzle, but we're not going to give any hints at first, because we really do want to see if people can use their brains to solve it. I know there's some people out there that are going to love this challenge. And then when it hurts your brain and you're like, please, a hint, we'll ask Rich, our puzzle maker, to give us that little bit of help, and we'll post it so that you can then hopefully people can crack it if we do that.
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds awesome. And it's a lot of fun. And again, like Matthew says, this sounds too heavy for me, but the puzzles are sort of layered, so you could do a bit and be in Discord or be in Facebook and chatting and going, I've got this far, and then someone else will be like, I didn't even get that far, but I know what the next bit is. So I feel like don't take it as like a whole, just take it like bit by bit.
If you've ever been to an escape room with a group, sometimes those puzzles are very hard, but you have multiple heads going like, I saw letters over there, and I think that means that this and that and the other. And someone's like, oh, that works because I just saw a lock over here, or there's a wall scratch. That's
and
what that
I'm always the one that's really good at spotting red herrings. I'm like, that looks important, and it's not. That's my skill. And sometimes, like my friends I do escape with, they're so in it that I step back and go, it's a word, guys. And they're like, oh. So lots of different. I really am looking forward to seeing lots of people talking and all this kind of stuff. What we wanted, it's just take a little bit longer than usual to crack, because you're all so good.
Yeah,
the last times you've done these, it's been instantaneous.
A minute, 30 seconds. Rich, your puzzle cracked.
Rich has been told to make it harder. But it's really fun, and there's a bit of a story, and
it progresses through the story.
So even if you're like not doing the puzzles, you can enjoy the little thematic thing that we're doing. So yeah,
it's like a crew lost in space. Like we've never seen that on a TV show before.
No, it's completely new. I think someone might steal it and turn it into a TV, like go back in time and make 60 years of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in it, I've also like named the ship, but I don't know if we're keeping the name I came up with. So if anyone's got ideas for like really cool ship names,
is it the plushie
let me know. Because like it's always like an aspiring word, like the endurance or the endeavor.
Yes, we need that.
So I definitely would love to hear some ship names. That would be fun. Otherwise, we're going with the one I've come up with, which is also cool.
And there's another thing we're doing on the campaign, which I'll mention now. It's a little small thing, but I still like it, which is that in the game, Luke and Maximus came up with new development abilities. Now, development cards are something that when you build a factory, you get the factory ability. You also score, you also go up a track, and you also get a combat bonus with a factory. But previously, before Genesis, every time you built a factory, it came with a tube repair bonus. That's its special ability, and you can use the tube repairs at any time you want. And Luke's like, we could do different abilities. I was like, yes, we can. And not only that, it was one of the best things to fit in the box because there's already a command carrier tray that has room for more cards. How convenient. So we have this, so there are 3 new ability cards for each one of the developments, and we thought it would be fun on the page to have a daily reveal of one of the cards. Now we've, some of you may have seen them in a content creator video, and that's okay also, but I just thought it would be fun if we went through each of the new cards. Because when you build that obelisk, which one are you going to pick? You could pick one of the 3 new cards, or you could pick the classic obelisk power. Same thing with the spaceport, but I will tell you, the spaceport powers have gotten insane. So I mean, here's what I love though. I have found during playing the game that I actually want the OG powers as much as I want the new powers. It's all circumstantial, right? The city has an amazing initial power, which is to get a module. It's pretty much one of the best things you can get in the game. But then the new city powers are also good. And you're like, ooh, I want a module, but ooh, I want that too. And so we're going to reveal the cities one at a time, and we're going to reveal the observatories and the factories. It's going to be fun.
And it gives you this like rush to develop even more.
Oh yeah.
Like, once you know what cards are in there, and you can check it whenever you want. It's not a secret. You could be like, I really want that card.
Best card in Andromeda's Edge is exactly.
But yeah, they're very cool to choose from, and
I agree with this completely. Like the spaceport one is resource conversion, so you turn 2 things into 3 things, and so that could be like 2 dud cards into 3 great cards, or it could be like 2 nanocarbon you don't need into 3 credits. It's very powerful. But I do that work on my own as I'm playing. I'm like, I'm going to make sure I get the right credits. So my brain's like, oh, I already have what I want. And I have used the spaceport at times. But the new spaceports, wow. Like, I'm going to be building more spaceports is what's going to happen.
And they take 3 leaders, so I feel like earning a little bit more.
No, the spaceports are 2.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the cities, sorry.
2, yeah, cities are 3. So those are the most powerful, and they stay the most powerful. But like you said, there's sort of this thing that it's like a rush to develop now, which I think was already in the game, but it's even more so now. It's like, oh, these spots are going to get really tight because everyone's going to want these.
Yeah, but it also depends what's out on the board. There's a lot of decisions to make about where to develop first. And developing early. I mean, JP from Whose Podcast said that's what you got to do. You got to develop really early. And it's funny because like people I've played with for the first time, I just don't really get that yet until they played once and go, oh yeah, that's where the points
are. Decent points.
I mean, like, it's a funny thing in that Doug chose to wear the t-shirt that he's wearing. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's the cones of Dunshire. And people say about like dwellings and it's all about the cones. It's all about the developments.
You know, that is what people have called Dwellings of Eldervale, which, I worked on development with that game with Luke Laurie. And it's when you first play a game like Dwellings of Eldervale or Andromeda's Edge, you can feel like, did they just make the cones of Dunshire? Because if I'm talking about it with somebody, I'm like, well, so you could take your sentient fungi and pull back your fighter, or you could launch over here and you could use your commerce module to, or you could use your Hall of Justice to do this. And I'm like, or your war room to go up the supremacy track. And they're like, what, come again? What the? When you pull back, if you have a leader go and go to the architect, you could like put 2 leaders in your factory.
The architect is literally in it. Like,
yeah, right. So
do you want to be the architect? I'm going to play the Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, so it feels a little like that sometimes. It's a game of chaotic things. But I will tell you that when the board game arena developer Jerka has been like, it's funny, he did not know this game before he was building this game. He knows BGA, he knows how to program, he knows how to script, and so he's building this game and he goes, this game is really good. And I was like, wow, that's a great, I love the fact that he's like diving in and going, the card play is hard to program for, but it is incredible. It's incredible.
He's an amazing developer if he can like program it. If he's doing a game he's not played before, that's amazing. Like,
it's pretty fun to watch.
He's got a serious brain there. Some other couple bits to share before we close up. So, loving people sharing their BGA.
This is from Board Game Arena,
which is very cool. Thank you, Greg, for sharing this, and everyone who is testing in alpha. I set up a chat, and people are chatting in there on the Facebook group. about setting up games and playing games, and they're having problems. They're talking amongst themselves, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is awesome. What happened with the goal? Look at the green there, and it's because of all the tokens stacked up. It looks like
there's a token back there. We still have graphical things to fix on the BGA, because one of the things is that Jerk is using the assets that we have, but we may customize the assets a little bit for the gameplay, and anything that's like the UI could benefit from, like on a digital platform. Sometimes something that was designed for in-person play is not as ideal. So we'll still be fixing various parts of the thing. It's in alpha right now, so that means that there are bugs, and there are still needs for SUGs. And so all the people that are on BGA and banging on it to help us figure those out, I really appreciate that.
No, it's amazing. The speed at which we're going, because there's so many people playing, is incredible.
Yeah.
Just imagine if people were testing a game and there was like 10 people a week, it would be a lot slower. So I really appreciate everyone taking the time to play like 100 games at once.
And there's a possibility that we could enter beta during the campaign. If that happens, more people could go in and test it. If it doesn't happen, it means that we are going to keep it for, a later time after the campaign, but it is coming. So that's a really exciting thing, that Andromeda's Edge is going to have that access for people.
Yeah,
that if you can't get it to the table at every time of the day, you could still pop open a game and take a turn in your Andromeda games.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's saying that AA is down right now. That's because we're probably fixing something that has to get all correct.
I think they're probably doing some modding, probably.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
No, it's actively getting fixes. So.
But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us again. We've got to get cracking with some more stuff that we've got to do.
There were some questions I want to make sure.
Oh yeah. Let me double check.
I want to make sure I want to answer, like, are the Dice Tower promo cards for AE going to be in the campaign? And the answer to that question is yes. Now, originally we weren't sure about that, so I did say that when they first came out for the Dice Tower, that these could be really rare in the Cosmos, but we heard a lot of feedback from people saying that they really wanted them to become available later. And I have been thinking about how people say about Cardboard Alchemy, they do appreciate that at a later date you can jump in for promos. And so we talked about it, and we went to the plant and we said, I think we're got to be ready. Now, the Dice Tower cards are exclusive to Dice Tower throughout the rest of 2025, but in 2026, it's fair game, and so we're putting them in the campaign, and that means that if you did not get the Dice Tower cards already, you can get the Dice Tower promo cards with your pledge. It's going to be a small amount of money to add those things. And also, someone asked on the campaign that I wanted to clarify, they do come, this is a spoiler possibly, although everyone who's got the cards from Dice Tower already should know this, they do come with a Genesis event card back. So that Dice Tower card could be played in any of the 4 event decks, including the new event deck, which is really cool. Yeah, very excited about
that. There was also a question of, will we get new expansion player aids with updated info final scoring?
Now that actually we don't have to do, because the scoring, while there is going to be new scoring in Genesis, it actually triggers off of an existing score phase, which is the scoring of the tracks. So during the scoring of the tracks, if you're playing Genesis, you will also have shrines to score during the track scoring, but it's going to be really easy because you put leaders on the tracks, which will remind you that they score. So there's no need for an additional part of the player aid. And I appreciate, by the way, that you said that we make great player aids. And that was true before Luke Glory, but I think because of Luke Glory, we make even better player aids, because he's really adamant about making sure people have a visual guide to play the game.
And do the big Raider dice fit in the Dice Tower?
They do. Oh my God, I don't have Raider dice right now, but I am taking pictures of how you can, in fact, roll the Raider dice. That was one of my main things. We were originally looking at a Game Genic tower, and it didn't fit the Raider dice. And I said, well, that's not going to do. The Andromeda's Edge has to have big, chunky dice that fit in that tower.
Absolutely. I love it. They're beautiful.
If we missed any other key questions, we are around. We're working on a campaign, so we're a little bit slow. But if you ask in this YouTube channel, I mean, we can talk about it next week. We have one more week to go, one more stream to go before we're live on the campaign. And then, of course, you can ask in our Facebook groups we have for Andromeda's Edge, a Facebook group where you can get in your questions, you can share your BGA games or your games of Andromeda's Edge base game on the table right now, or ask questions about the campaign. We also have a Discord where every once in a while, Luke Guller will pop on the Discord and say, who wants to play Genesis right now? Because we are making a tabletop simulator mod, regardless of whether or not BGA will be ready. We are, of course, doing our usual thing and making a tabletop simulator mod with all of the Genesis content. In fact, it's going to have all of the content from Andromeda's Edge, which previously we had not put the promo cards in the module on TTS, but now it'll have everything. So you could try out the new Genesis. You could try and fight the frog and steal awesome modules out of its gullet. You could try not to be assimilated by the new cube while you're also playing a classic faction or one of the Genesis factions. So I'm really excited by that. And if anyone's in our Discord already and has played the game, I appreciate you in advance when you help a new player out, figure out the game and stuff like that, because that happens all the time and we love it.
Yes, thank you.
And in the meantime, it's a weekend, or at least it is for us when you're watching or when we're doing this. So I hope you have a fun gaming weekend, whatever you're playing. You know, I'm gonna go play Andromeda's Edge right now, but I got
board game plans. But my friends are sick. So
oh no!
Maybe we'll play BGA. Maybe I'll do some work.
Let's play some Genesis. Let's go.
Yeah, we've got time for it.
Yeah, right. Come on. There's always time for
totally. Bags of time.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.